know, I'm actually interested to see who gets that MVP this ESL One around. We've got so many great people, and we've got so many very, well, popular people. Especially...
I accidentally created a bidding war for my vote in the pregame lobby. We had a bit of a delay. Mike offered 500, and apparently, you know, there's a lot of pre-game banter going on. It was a lot of fun to watch. There was, like, Mike was also throwing into the pool, just like, hey, Febby, if you want to throw this game, like, maybe we can get you a spot on a team. This will all be fine. Like, we're actually keeping it pretty close, and that's what I want to see. 1.85 to 1.89. We're keeping this game close. Team versus Mineski. I'm excited about this guy. We've cast a couple of games, a couple of series already throughout this tournament, and we're hoping for that one nice, tight one, and that may be it. And let's actually look at what the teams have to offer as they're all going out to their lanes. And I want to start with a combination. We saw some weird shenanigans with Rubik, Bane, and OD before, but we're watching that Bane Enfeeble and how it actually syncs with the rest of his team. Well, it's interesting because the way it works with Doom and other spells that are affected by status resist but deal damage over time is that you'll increase the duration, but the tick interval will change to match the new duration. So it's the same if you were to doom someone with Satanic, you would actually still take the full doom damage, but it would be applied faster. With Bane, the doom will last longer, but the damage will be spaced out more. It's great synergy with a hero like Nyx, though. You set up with a Sleep Enfeeble, and then the Nyx stun is like 4.5 seconds. It's kind of ridiculous. Yep, we're actually seeing that stun already going to work from Nusham, going after Ninja Boogie, but Moon's moved over. It's a level 1 static link, but he's going to get a full duration steal out thanks to the wall that's up, and Mike 88 may not have the life to survive this. He's already used his brain sap. One more attack from Moon, and he'll actually get the first blood. Mineski will still be claiming a couple of the bounty runes as well. That's huge. You really want to get ahead with this draft of Mineski, and I think part of the reason the odds are so close is just you have a concept. Furion in this game, as far as matchups go, specifically against Spectre Doom, it's not great, but you have a Terrorblade. You want to capitalize on the early game damage advantage you have and just sort of sweep through these towers and keep Team in their base before the Spectre Haunt being active ensures that they'd win a team fight. So look for Mineski to try and end this game quick. It is actually one of the cool things we were talking about during the drafting phase too, just how easy it is for that Spectral Haunt just to get everywhere on the map. Difficult for whatever 3 position Mineski was trying to toss up the pick during their drafting phase to grab. But, well, KP is already putting his work in with the Fissure block up from Febby, who's looking to have a great, fantastic, and very attention-grabbing ES game. Oh, yeah. We'll be watching you, Febby. Make it good. Hey, for now, he's my MVP. Really? Yeah. You're putting Febby up high? Maybe not. His plea from yesterday was able to sway you. I'm surprised more players haven't done that, you know? Yeah, why not? It's like, oh, VP's going to win it every time, right? So it's like, well, let's just move on. No. I think after today, I'll ask for a personal essay from each player as to why they want a Mercedes. What would they do with it? And the best one gets my vote. Taking a slack. You're taking Slack's Pokemon story there. You ever see that? Mike's in trouble on bottom lane, moving into the trees with KP's attack. This Blindstone's a real pain in the butt for him. He's actually normally got pretty high armor, but he's down to 4 in Envy. With the Treants attacking in and this Blindstone, they're so fearful of just a fissure holding them away from their retreat angle, and they don't have an easy way to cut back out of it. One Quelling Blade won't get you very far. Yep. It's a part of the reason I think you go for the Furion here. It's very tough to go safe lane against a Bane, and Team love putting Mike on these lane secures, right? Undying Bane specifically. Doesn't matter against a Prophet. You just hit too hard. You've got a bunch of friends. You can even see KP TP's back to base so that he can just get full mana and immediately come back and continue spamming trees. I expect to see him cycle like that because it's not about his net worth as much as it is slowing down the Spectre and the Bane and ensuring that they dominate bottom. Yeah, because that's what you're talking about, right? Like if Spec's timing is slowed up, that buys more time for Terrorblade to get bigger. And they did give TB that mid lane against the Venomancer. So you're going to get some fast levels because this is a pure 1v1. There's no heavy rotations coming in from anyone. And maybe that's also something else to think about from Mineski. Like we're seeing it now. Febby, 3 minutes in, level 2 is coming towards the mid lane, but this will only work if Gunnar moves out a little bit too far. And with the great plays we've seen from Gunnar during this tournament, it's unlikely he'll do this. He does get the salve, which is nice. And just want to mention something about this Terrorblade pick. Even the Furion too. This is the Liquid special, okay? If whenever there's a period of time where the Veno was first 2 picked, like for a while, I think right after TI7. and Liquid would immediately respond with
nice
Terrorblade.
catch. Gunner is most definitely dead. They just lock him in with a wall and the Fissure.
Yeah, I was thinking that there would be a Kunkka, maybe a DK. The Veno is less of this active pace slower to a game and more like, okay, I'm gonna get ahead, spam all these wards, you'll be unable to puncture the tower. But Fury and TB hit a timing so fast that you're just not strong enough as a Veno to stand on towers. Although mid, did he just kill Ajit?
It looks like it. He went for a 2-2 build, and then life, it's still not enough.
That was
for Ajit to stay alive.
That was a huge miscue, because you get a kill mid with 3, and then Gunner immediately TPs back in to equalize. That's massive for his game.
I'm liking too, like the build he's able to go for, the skill build with this 2-2 is very kill centric, very aggressive, very lane harassment out, and not just into a push or a counter push. He gets it through the aggression into the heroes directly. Febby trying to do this solo, begins his own TP out, and just burns a lot of life and a little bit of mana of the Venomancer, so he'll pop himself and be back down to 2 tangos only.
Yeah. Yeah, top lane, mid, and bottom lane, though, are going so well for Mineski. They just have a massive advantage. Disruptor with a Razor that got first blood is nigh unbeatable. Disruptor when behind, just, you know, low damage, doesn't really accomplish anything in the laning phase, but Razor could 1v2 effectively. And then there's a Disruptor there to ensure the link damage comes out full. But I like this decision from Brax to get the Ice Armor. We saw this in I think, Doom game played by Keen. Just 8 armor is pretty insane this early in a game.
Do you actually also like the fact that you're seeing just KP moving into treads this game? It's not the phase boost we've been seeing from the harassment lane. No, Newsham, he's locked in once again. That wall, the kinetic field, holding him in position. He's going for the rune. He's actually got the rune. He's going to get up the hill. TP scrolls at Belby. He's doing it in the fog of war. He wants to keep the run going instead. But Moon, such high movement speed, just keeping up with the Nyx Assassin and finds the kill.
I think, so we watched Complexity yesterday. I had a lot of criticisms. We both did, because the Prophet of Death went for this weird Orchid build, right? Oh, hang on, we're gonna have...
Yeah, you never get a time to have a chat about something. It's fine. Febby will potentially die. He's gonna fissure out. Terrorblade's moving over. He's gonna put the reflection down, but still, Febby does take a fall into the Metamorphosis. The Nightmare protecting Gunner for a moment. He'll move around the tree line. Sinjabugi wants to help out too, putting the wall in, so Mike cannot hide himself in the trees. In fact, the Glimpse pulls him back right underneath Ajit to get the kill, a double for him.
Yeah, you can look at the way that the itemization is synced, right? So before we go to Prophet again, 3 Wraith Bands is going to be the build to start on Ajit. I expect to see a second item BKB. They're looking to end game first or second Roche at the latest. And unlike the Death Prophet, I think KP is going to be going for a proper build here. All team fights. Sunder's skilled. You got to be careful.
Happened again. He's going to turn around, as you said, with the Sunder. Tries to find that extra damage. Gunner is very low. In fact, the Reflection's causing a lot of problems, even with the Poison Sting effect. Venomancer is not a healthy man. He's got 60 charges, so he'll be okay.
Yeah, but I actually really like what KP's doing. It's all about just sitting bottom. You know, other Prophets may have rotated by now, but he just wants to continue dominating this Spectre in the laning phase. And he'll be going for this, like, Medallion, Drums, Vlad's build. And the whole idea is that you can't play the usual Prophet game where you're ratting. You're in the trees, you're hiding, because you're against a Nyx. You're against a Spectre that can immediately pop out and get on top of you. You need to be able and willing to fight at all times.
So you need to get those team fight items. It's going to help you out.
Yep. Cheap stat items increase your survivability and, of course, stay high damage. And buy those team items that no one else in your squad is going to really want to go for right now.
Yeah, so that's why you actually saw KP for half a second. He was looking to TP around, looking for the fights, but only if it makes sense. Because he could just TP out and then TP back down again. Teleportation and TP scroll, not having those shared cooldowns, just allows him to do so. Mike.
Oh, that's a lot of gold for Envy. That was a nice dagger.
He actually put that up to level 3.
Yeah, he's going for the build I saw Ana utilize. Not the items necessarily, but just maxing out Dispersion and Dagger, no points Desolate. And looks like a Vanguard into Treads.
Gunner really kills himself with Reflect.
Yeah.
I just realized just how hard it is when the Poison Sting is just that effective. He's actually TPing all the way back to base. This is such a huge loss for him.
Yep, and it's a very difficult lane to your point. And it's 3 points reflection as well on Ajit. You know, it's funny. You know who started this off was Monkeys Forever. He used to go max reflection and meta build. And yeah, that's exactly what Ajit's going to do. Level 7 max reflect. And to your point, he can just spam it. It's a 50 mana ability. 50 mana. And as we just saw, when Gunner maxes, not even maxes, just 2 points Poison Sting, like he hits himself out of the lane.
The battle for the rune. Nyx Assassin really wanted to try and find that kill on mid, however. No mana burn points. It's a 2-0-2 on the Nyx. Doom is still having some good time up on top. As you said, having the Frost Armor is very difficult to kill him, but it seems like Mineski are focusing on every other lane apart from Brax's lane. But Brax has been so good as well for Team, always itemizing to ensure the same thing we've been talking about from KP, building up these team fight items.
And I also really like, man, Brax is like this unsung hero of Team. I think he's going to go for a Max Infernal Blade build, and I love Doom against Razor, but the new style of Doom where you're usually maxing out Devour and then the Fire next just kind of plays into the Razor's hands, right? Because you get the free link off at all times. But if you max Infernal, you can actually just man up with them. You don't need damage to do heavy DPS. Now, you know.
Yeah, Mike is most definitely dead. When they TP in 3 and KP commits the Wrath of Nature, he was definitely dead.
I really like the Furion. If it works out, it's gonna look like genius, and if they don't hit the timing and Team Spectre starts going off, it's gonna be trouble. But you can see how, like, Mike has 500 net worth right now, and when you pick a hero solely to dominate lanes and you don't, 5 just becomes miserable.
Yeah. But I also like the way that, like, to make it work off right, like, you got to bring KP down to that bottom tier 1 tower and never relieve the pressure. And the second they got the kill on Mike, he's down on bottom lane, even without the creep wave, he's hitting into the tier 1 towers, no backdoor regen on those suckers, so he just keeps going with Febby babysitting. She feels like the old, like, you remember like those Wind Ranger ES dual off lanes that used to be done. It's like, you know, you can go up as far as you want to because the Fissure will be able to protect you. Maybe not so much against a Spectral Dagger, however. He can jump over the rock wall.
Yeah, you just want to make sure that you aren't susceptible like a Trilane or something weird. The team supports come online at level 6, so as soon as that happens, Prophet's got to play a little more cautious. Top lane, nice armor.
They're going after Doom Prophet. Oh, nice Sprout, traps him in. Even with the Quelling Blade, Brax could have just cut straight through if he put it on top of him. Instead, blocks the tree line, and they find the kill.
Yeah, and this is how you play Prophet, by the way. And it looks weird. You're picking it into heroes that are typically good against it, but this is not an Orchid buyer in this game.
Yep.
Just so active now. You got 3 points in your trees, a Drums Up Lightstone. So anywhere KP goes, you can find a kill and collect the tier 1. I just love playing with this as my offlane.
And because with the time he commits, it's like 10 seconds that he can go down to bottom lane. And Febby's been holding that lane back anyway, so he'll have his own little, like, experience gain and money gain, and they're not stopping. This is a Terror Blade. He wants to keep pushing into the lanes, and KP becomes the enabler.
And the downside of the Envy build is, you know, we saw this again yesterday in the Complexity game when the Sand King went Vanguard. You're not strong. You're tanky, but he needs a lot more time to come online. And because of this, they're able to just plant a level 4 Earthshaker in the off lane. And there's no threat on him, even though it's a level 8 carry.
It's ES off lane, Ninja Boogie in the mid lane. Like, they're getting their support so many levels, while IX Mike 88, he can't go anywhere. He has hit his 6, though. He did at least get the 6 off the top lane.
This is something we've talked about a lot. Like, it's so necessary nowadays for teams to draft in a way that allow the cores have to be willing and able to rotate. You've got to leave these lanes at a point so that the supports can activate themselves. And the difference between the teams is that Mineski, when they plant their supports in places, like, they're getting CS, and it feels like Team, it's just like, oh, I'm trying to recover, and my cores are now relegated, as you can see, Gunnar, to his own jungle. Moon is pushing for a tower and farming enemy jungle.
Yeah. Just well played by Mineski, and they're going to keep this pressure on down to the tier 1 tower on bottom lane. Fissure doesn't lock in Envy, and the Sprout actually pushes him further away. Not the initiation Mineski wanted, but they get the tier 1 tower. KP with the last hit. Febby may be caught off a little bit on the sidelines as Gunnar and Mike will trap him down, and he is the sacrificial lamb. He knows he has to die for the cause of Mineski.
Yeah, that's to be expected. You're always going to lose one there. And Ninja Boogie, no intention of joining the fight. He will finish 6 quite soon, though. Carapace done a little bit of harass from Nusham.
He needs that Static Storm.
No. Yeah, but Envy, like, the thing about it is, if you're Team, you want to try and take fights where either Envy is baited or somehow starts the fight and tanks a bunch of damage, because he's got no points desolate and a Vanguard, like max dispersion. He is solely like 70 attack damage. This hero is not strong, but you can tank like a beast.
In the great ways of Eternal Envy strategies, he's all about dying because if he dies, he can buy back and Spectral Horn straight back into the fight, right? So death is a path to victory when it comes to Eternal Envy, and he'll be testing that right now. He turns around, down the hill, Echo Slam, that's looking for this never-ending control on the Spec, but he is very, very tanky. Thanks to that Vanguard, they don't have the damage to do this, and now they're looking for the kill team, hoping for an opportunity. They got slowed down thanks to the Spectral Dagger, but Mineski looks like they've backed off just far enough away to safety.
Yeah, you can see that they're lucky they made that decision about when they did, not 3 or 4 seconds later, because you can see team know that that's their fight window.
Are they coming in again? The Fiend's Grip holding Disruptor in position, but Febby, Grave Fissure, now the Static Storm goes into play. Nyx Assassin, the only one really caught inside of it, but that's enough time for Terrorblade just to unleash and pick off the Nyx Assassin. KP with another Sprout catch, but Mike cuts through with his last remaining Tango, but that won't save him from Moon's rotation. In from the east to find the kill. A double kill, in fact, going the way of Ajit. And with the Metamorphosis, they'll look to push once again. The creep wave's not too far off, so they can probably take this top tier 2 tower.
That was well played by Mineski there, like to just ensure that they went for the supports, ignore Envy. Although Envy, this is how you want to play. He understands the game state. He's going to continue to put himself in positions where he can't be ignored. If you want to pressure this objective, you've got to go for him.
Yep. But is this how you need to play for team? You bring everyone now up to the top lane to defend, and KP just TPs the bottom lane. This global pressure. How do you deal with this? Is it meant to come through Nyx hunting, Spectral Haunt? Like, do they have enough to combine the two of these at the moment?
And that's my concern, right? Because I feel like the Venomancer last pick is a bit awkward because Spectre is gonna, like you can see right there, both Spectre and Veno are at the top tier 2. You don't need both. You'd prefer if Gunnar were on some hero, say like a Kunkka, that could shove lanes fast and then also be hunting and preparing for the split push that comes out. He can TP to defend if they try and dive the Spectre at tier 2, but when they're both there, it's so easy for Mineski to just retreat and then spread around the map, look for that next opportunity to pop meta and get more towers.
Great Dire Observer was able to see Nusha moving around. He was looking to hunt somebody, but like Febby is not enough for them. Like it's an Earthshaker with 1200 HP and 7 armor, and Envy didn't have enough mana to both Spectral Haunt and Spectral Dagger. Yep. I say Spectral on both, just Haunt and Spectral Dagger. We get this stuff right.
And look at the wards that Boogie placed. You can see the next move from Mineski.
Yeah, tier 1 tower mid.
Yep.
They can see every aggressive move coming in. So they see Brax, they see Gunnar.
And more importantly, Envy. Like you can see, just he's always at the tower being pressured. This time, he'll be TPing bottom because there's Haunt active and his Venomancer's already set up with Doom behind him. Still holding on to the Ice Armor is Brax, and very effective when you look at the amount of physical damage on Mineski. This early in the game, 20% attack slow, or 20 attack slow.
They find Mike up on the top lane. He was just looking for a little bit of extra stuff. KP able to TP in a Ninja Boogie with all the control in the world for them. And Envy will test his survivability in a second. Fissure looking to lock him down. Spectral Horn still available if he wants to try and jump away, but this Terrorblade doesn't have Metamorphosis, so he doesn't feel like he has enough damage to kill the Spec, and he's correct.
Yeah, nobody does. This is not a target you want to be going for quite some time. Bottom, Febby jumped on.
Yeah, it's the Sentry Ward that let him know about it. That's moved just far enough away.
Yeah, and I love the decision as well. You can see going for the Ags here. Blink is just useless. You're playing against Veno wards. There's a Spectre Haunt. There's an Invis hero potentially scouting you. Like, there's never a reason. You don't want to rely on Blink. It just it's a lose-lose scenario. So just rush the Ags. It'll come on a bit later than the Blink, but you know it'll always be effective.
Yeah, we get the Slam Shaker instead. How do you like the other two items? We see both sides actually rushing it. Rod of Atos for both the mids. So Moon's got one and Gunnar's got the other.
I really love it on Moon. He gets the hood first, so it's all about the tankability, but now you also provide just a little bit of catch, so it's not all about your supports. You wanted a little bit of disable, and it's tons of raw stats. So he's deceptively tanky, and you know that you're going to be facing massive amounts of damage, like just the Veno ult, the Doom, the Infernal Blade. There's a lot of max HP-based magic damage.
Look at that, 2.5k-ish worth of building damage coming in from Mineski. KP just took the top tower without any kind of contest. Team is taking so long just to push down a wave. This almost feels like the inadequacies of that Venomancer in mid lane, where he can't clear. Like, the Plague Wards help build up a wall over time, but a wall's not built in a day. Now Nusha runs forward, uses Spy Carapace, but support is behind with Ninja Boogie. Not the greatest combination, but he's got the glimpse to pull back that Nyx Assassin. Does not want Nusha to be the initiator in any way, shape, or form. Yeah,
they're doing a great job on Mineski. It's an 8k lead, which usually would say a team is running away with it. I'd be curious as to what the win probability is, because I'd argue that, Yeah, it's looking good, but this isn't by any means a decisive advantage. They need to continue growing their lead at about this rate, and the way they're playing is managing this, because you've got Fury, you've Disruptor hunting. Anytime he finds a hero available, Fury can just TP in, boom, that's going to be a kill. Yep. And Ajit just hard farming while sending illusions to bottom. So they're just trying to pressure lanes, grow their gold advantage. You don't want to fight team, even with this big of an advantage, because it would involve running into a bunch of tanky monsters and trading.
So you put the timing on Mineski before that. Like, they need to do this within one to two Roshans. How do they actually ensure the Roshan against team if they don't want to take these fights?
You wait for an opportunity around a tower. Like, it's going to be with meta. Trying to think. It's really starting with a pickoff. You've got the Disruptor, you've got the Prophet, who actually will be going for the Orchid. KP's about to finish that.
Rooting out again onto Febby. Newsham, he was waiting for Febby to, I think, to actually fish it for half a second. He's already used his Spike Carapace as they fight this battle. Envy is running forward. The Veno, the Gale, actually the Nova is pretty damn good. Febby, no, he couldn't actually hit anybody with the Echo Slam. He definitely wants to disengage and get back to base to regenerate, but that now means the rest of his team, what else they got left? The Static Storm is good, right on top of Envy. KP will now finally join the fight. A great double stun from Newsham, holding in Moon, and they get the Doom off as well. Moon, does he have enough life to survive the Terrorblade? He's gonna go down, couldn't get the Thunder out, and now it's one dead, it's gonna be a two. Razor just cannot move. The Nyx Assassin held him in position, and Brax does the work in the middle of the engagement, finds the fight, but they're getting a turnaround. KP with a triple kill, fighting from the trees, because he's the master of that environment.
Yeah, that's the fight like team was ready for. They were waiting for that for some time. I think Mineski do a great job to turn that around, because you can see team wants the fight. Mineski was refusing to give it to them. Yep. So now they're just going straight for this engagement under the tier 1, because
you said it right. They had to go underneath the tower, something Mineski would be willing to defend.
Yes, and they had a good timing, right? Drums Vlad's on the Doom. They had the Crimson Guard, as we saw, active. That was the first item. So as soon as that came online, Envy's like, all right, let's make something happen. Yep. Didn't even use the Haunt in that fight. He was just there. And a 2 for 4 is actually okay for team.
Spectral Haunt for a kill. Ninja Boogie, support's coming in from Mike. He's got a Nightmare to just buy time to everyone to reposition. KP picks up the Haste Drone. Sprouts, as well as now having the Orchid. Silence up the Nyx Assassin, but we go again. Here's your Spectral Haunt, all in the middle with the Reflection. There's so many illusions. Try and keep track of this one. A great double stun once again, kicking in Ajit and Moon. They have enough stolen damage. They can fight this, but the Crimson Guard making it difficult for Mineski to get that final point of damage in. This will be a little bit easier, however. Mike glimpsed back in. Envy, he turned around, normally just leave him for dead, but now Envy slightly up the hill in the Sprout, locked in position. Another stun, trying to buy some space, but Febby's Fissure will put down Eternal Envy. That's his first death of the game. He's not going to like it, because Brax will join him in the grave, or Willie has to trigger the drum charge, get some extra movement speed, but can he get away? The Diakuro can die in the meantime. It looks like they've actually got the trap on the Venomancer, so he'll go down, and Brax in the trees. Dukes from the right and the left, but the Planter Field reveals they'll hold him in place with the Rod of Atos, and that's one more punch. Febby, he didn't want to steal the kill, but yeah, Moon will claim him at the end of the day.
That's just a great team fight. Team, they have the Haunt, and they know there's no meta, but I think the Doom is way too valuable. With no Doom, they didn't have the positioning on the supports either, and Mineski just held the high ground, and then eventually they turned that around. KP also doing a deceptively high amount of damage. With this Drums Orchid build, when he's able to just plant himself on the high ground and smack people, like, you can't actually run up this as team.
The wall didn't actually hold the Nyx Assassin in position. Febby wants to keep up, but he won't find him. But while that's going on in mid, you still take the bottom tier 2 tower, so Mineski is starting to claim more and more map control, which is just, it's never-ending gold for a Prophet.
That was a huge fight for them. And I just love the itemization. You can look around each and every hero, even the Disruptor of Ninja Boogie. He's got a cloak because he's going Glimmer, double bracer, wand, like 1500 HP. They all recognize, look, we need to be in a position where we just are so strong that we can abuse team's lack of damage for now, because that's how team is like, they want to win these fights in that 15 seconds with Haunt up, the Venom ticking, the Doom ticking. And if you're able to tank through this, kite back, and then reinitiate, you find.
Moon, the smoke breaks. They need a control, and they got him through the Rod of Atos and the Nova. They're committing everything the Fiend Script, but Febby's in position to get the Fidget cancel onto Mike's Fiend Script, so Moon can get back up the hill. The Doom is out. They have thrown everything they've got at this Razor to try and find the kill with the jump forward. Spectral Dagger, they just want this Razor, but be careful of the denial. They're holding him back. You know he's waiting for it. They turn, they sunder. He actually gives the life back over the Razor. There's no denying, there's no dead there apart from Ninja Boogie, who was trapped in by 3 different heroes. The buybacks are coming in. Febby hits the Echo Slam, but Venomancer, he's got the life thanks to the one charges. They're locked inside this kinetic field. Ninja Boogie keeping team here a little longer than they really wanted to, thanks to that buyback and TP forward. They glimpse Spectral Haunting Dagger, able to get Envy back away to safety as Mike will die. Envy's copying a lot of damage. Nice spike Carapace stops Moon, as well as KP keeping the instant chase on. Brax, drum charge to run away once more. This time he will be able to survive.
You can see Mineski, like, exactly.
Don't turn back into that! Underneath the Sentry Ward, it was the same one that saw him previously. They're trying to glimpse the Doom away, so Newsham can't follow through and get the revenge kill into Boogie.
Like, Mineski is on top of this. They recognize the win condition. We are not able to take fights that we're looking to initiate. We need to get these spells off team and just continue buying time. Even though they have a 12K gold lead, they were in flight mode 100%.
Yep.
And now that all these spells are burned, they can finally go for an objective again, the Roshan. And this is key. This is the item that they could grab to win the game if the Aegis comes out onto the Razor or the Terrorblade.
Oh, they're looking for the kill onto Mike now. Roshan is definitely the primary target. The Glimpse pulling back in. IX Mike 88. He'll Nightmare over on Moon. They're running through the rear. It's a good Gale connecting onto Newsham, looking for a triple stun. He's probably going to claim it. Does in fact do that. Razor is ticking down too low. They actually have to pull Terrorblade out of the pit to have this fight, and they will just let everything rip. KP with his BKB fresh for this fight, now wearing off. That's how long this has been going on for. The 10 seconds Brax pull back into the engagement. He can't move away. The Frost Armor wore off, so he had nothing else to give. But Roshan is still not dead yet. They're trying to bring Terrorblade back in to finish up Roshan. These stuns just continue. KP caught out of position, and once again Mineski forced to come out the pit and join in this fight. KP is trying to move away. This Poison Sting and Gale. Oh, he actually taunts as he walks away.
Oh, that BKB was huge. It's the only reason that Mineski were able to stand strong. But team, like, they're like the annoying little kids that won't go away. They're just camping around this pit.
Just put more wards down. That's all right.
They're just spamming these spells, and Mineski never feel confident enough to actually dive forwards, and this is the strength of Veno. You give him enough time and you will fortify your position. Bounty runes spawn.
Oh, Gunnar, they're actually gonna kill him. He was killing himself off thanks to just the reflection. The Nightmare's trying to buy a little bit of time. He'll go for the Rod of Atos on the Razor. No buyback for the Venomancer, and maybe this is the opportunity one. IX Mike 88, he'll go down as well. Envy, he's hovering around the back of Roshan. He's also looking for the bounty runes as well. Yeah, sure, you claim that money while this is all going on. But Roshan is starting to regenerate, but Mineski, they just want to finish him. But Envy is making his presence very well known. Throws out that Spectral Dagger. It's a pretty damn low cooldown, but they want to keep going. But the Storm is a pretty damn good one. Envy moves back out. The Doom is out. And the Echo Slam. Febby holding Envy in position. Can he get out of this one alive? No, he can't. The Sprout was going to make sure he couldn't get out anyway. Buyback is available. Do you want to commit it at this point? Mike is just having to battle against all of Mineski. A buyback in from the Razor. They want to kill off the Doombringer. That's who they want. The Glimpse, it pulls Nyx Assassin back in front of the Roshan pit. You can Orchid silence him up. He still was able to stun him up a little bit of time, but now Mineski, it looks like finally they can finish what they started. The kill onto Roshan, and they may even claim, something in return for team. Brax catching up Ninja Boogie to kill him in the bottom river, but Roshan, he's the bigger prize belonging to Mineski.
It's a weird game to watch, but conceptually, I still think both teams are playing properly. You can't just give away Roche's team. And sure, you lose that fight, but you killed Razor, you forced a buyback, and you kill Disruptor. So this gold advantage, it's going up for Mineski still, but the team net, like, it's not as much as it could be if team were just kind of chilling in their base. They don't have any method of fast sweeping through waves. You need to buy time for the Spectre Radiance. Continue increasing the duration of this game, because that Envy Radiance, he's 2,000 away.
He's already shown he could survive in these fights. Like, he's literally standing in front of Roshan pit, in front of 4 heroes of Mineski, saying, I know I can live if I can pop my Crimson Guard.
Yeah.
If you put Radiance on this and then you start getting missed chances as well,
it's a possibility.
It is definitely a possibility. New item as well for Febby. That Aghanim's he's been working on for a while has now arrived.
Yeah, I love the way KP's been playing this game. I'm cool with the Orchid based on it, just because he had the ability to do so. You go for the drums first, you're strong, you have a big advantage. So get this item that is the most efficient for your DPS and then immediately BKB. But you can see his strategy. He is in the team fights. He's not going for buildings. He's not poking on the outskirts, going for solo kills. Yep. He's getting right into the thick of things and auto-attacking. And that's what you got to do.
They're coming for a fight, Mineski. 3-man smoke up, heading down. They actually draw to bottom lanes. They want to push in the lane. Venomancer is not here. They have TP scrolls already. So team can come back, and they're looking for their opportunity. Envy will be the one who will present himself. Fisher, there's your axe jump forward from Febby. The storm is good, and Envy, he's trapped on the edge of it. He needs more help. That Nova is pretty damn good itself. Michael come in to join the fight, but Febby just jumps into the back lines, looking to keep the pressure up. Now there is the buyback into Spectral Horn if they want to try and defend this tier 1 tower. If the damage is enough, Mineski trying to battle through the fortification of team.
Gunner got glimpsed top. Venomancer will not be here for this fight.
Now the Great Fissure catching out 2, and the jump forward from Febby. He'll be stunned up himself by the Echo Slam, dropping down Newsham. Now he moves forward. Once again, this man is slamming everywhere on the map. The Fiend's Grip might cancelled by the glimpse of Ninja Boogie. This is a full bottom racks that will be claimed. They did not want to burn the buyback. They didn't have the Venomancer, as you said. And Mineski, they will continue this pressure into mid lane.
Just clinical performance thus far from Mineski. They hit the timing, and that's it. They're still going.
Yep. Why stop? You know the buyback, if they can force one out, that's even better, but here comes Febby. The jump forward, the Gal will be able to connect, and Febby will cop a lot of damage from this, but that's why he just jumps further away, begins his TP. Envy, no, the glimpse, pulled him away. One attack would probably find the kill. Envy's looking for something. KP's TP down, and he'll have to jump over to Ninja Boogie. Doesn't even connect on the dagger, but that's why Nyx Assassin, running forward with the Vendetta, will find the stun. Envy now has a Spectral Dagger back off cooldown. Moon's nearby, the wall is up. Envy once again, he's like a lion trapped inside the cage. He'll go down. Newsham, no he won't. Yeah, he will. The Orca pop. That's enough damage to find it, and already team back on the retreat, and Mineski running forward.
Perfect. It's just perfect for Mineski. You can see they have such a great sense of the flow of these engagements. They push their advantage as much as possible, and once they recognize TT is trying to get frisky, they back, until once again, they're the ones on a high ground. They have more numbers, and they can turn it around, because the team catch isn't there, and they can find kills on these supports so easily the moment they're even just a step out of position.
I'm still wondering how these fights go down if team is already there and ready, in position. Like, Febby's getting some great jumps, but there's never any real big punishment. The Venomancer doesn't have a hell of a lot of wards down. Team like a glimpse back, not in position, not ready for the fight. And you know they want to have these long sustained fights like they had around Roshan. It's the reason why you got the negative 8-second cooldown on Venomancer Gale. He wants to just keep spamming this out, get the extra plague wards at 15 and just go nuts.
Yep, it's just, I mean, that will be interesting to see. Like, maybe you get so many wards that Mineski can't dive your base anymore, but they've just hit, the itemization is on point, right? You hit the Ags on Febby. You've got a BKB now on Moon to go with the Pipe Atos. MKB next item on KP. Like, they're just so strong. They've all got so much survivability, and the damage output in comparison to the Radiant lineup is just, it's not comparable.
Well, they're coming in. Is that mid they want? A melee Rax is the primary target. No fortification available for the Radiant side. And Gunner was already just farming up the top lane, so he wasn't totally ready, but it won't matter as long as they make enough space. The mid melee Rax is all they really need. That's an interesting Nova. That was well away from everyone in Mineski. Boy, Chope, they totally realized it. I gotta, don't worry. Everyone deserves one miss in their life. You have to make more wards to make up for the push. So Mineski, they know Nova is down. Not a lot of damage to kick in from it, so they'll keep the pressure up in through the top lane. And you jump, Febby chasing the Venomancer, puts him down with the Echo Slam. The buybacks are available, but once again, the wall. Eternal Envy has just been the primary target from Ninja Boogie. Michael go for another Fiend's Grip. They are going to get these Plague Wards up, and Terrorblade licking his wounds quite heavily. The Doom is on him, so he will tick down to a deathly point. Probably have to be denied, but it's the middle of the battle. Brax is just standing his ground against Moon, who has to die. They have to be able to kill off this Razor. He'll bring Nyx down with him.
They got the deny on Ajit as well, KP.
Of course they did. And here comes Febby. This man's looking to prove something, trying to put on a show, jumping forward, looking for more kills, just controlling up Doom time and time again. They glimpse him back over again. Another time for a stun. Control, finishes off cooldown in 1 second time. Throw that out, get the kill onto Brax. Sure, keep it up. A buyback can come in from Brax, get him back into this fight for Febby. A great double stun. Then his stun timings have just been right on point, as well as the balls. The supports from Mineski are just making it almost too easy for the cause. Finally, Febby looks like he's going to go down to the Plague Wards. They push the issue maybe a little too hard. Yushim's double kill, finding the kills, but the mega creeps belong to Mineski. This base really belongs to Mineski, but they'll give up tenancy. They'll collect rent a little bit later. Disruptor will go down. The Gem of True Sight lost. Envy jumps now up a little bit further north, but Jit's already run away, and Team are in full damage control.
You might want to be careful here if you're Mineski, because you've just activated Eternal Envy's powers. Mega creeps, 33 minutes into the game, please. Throne exposed.
100% win rate for Mineski as well. Is this what
Child's play?
I'm sorry, that's actually, it's incorrect. They're rounding up just like the panel liked to do before. This is a 99.8% chance Mineski win.
But that 0.2%.
That's the EE factor, 0.2%.
Oh man,
Radiant is here, boys. Team's got a chance. Like it's
oh, it's a slim one, but Mineski, admirable performance. Like, they've done excellent.
Yeah, they haven't lost a single tier 1 tower on the map. They own this map.
They really haven't made a mistake, and yeah, it feels like they've just crushed Team. But the way these drafts work out, Mineski had to play flawlessly. They had to always be ahead to never lose an engagement. It really just took one misplay where you lose 3, you lose a tower, and all of a sudden you're not strong enough to perhaps make these plays. And I still think Team had the right concept, but the Venomancer just doesn't do what they needed that 10th pick, that overall last pick to do.
You needed that burst damage right in mid. Like we were flagging up like Kunka as like one of those options.
A killer and something that kills creep waves as well. Veno just doesn't accomplish these tasks, and you pick it into 2 heroes that one of the best teams in Dota, Team Liquid, will always pick into Veno. Prophet and Terrorblade, and this is exactly why. Because you leave your draft weaker and susceptible to these tower slayers early off in the match. And you know, thus far, KP 10-1-20. Phenomenal game.
Febby jumping into the Spy Carapace. You will get the Orchid off from KP, trying to put that fresh Monkey King bar to work. Nyx Assassin just continues his run. Rod of Atos is down. Venomancer, that looks like a good Gale as well as Nova. Let's make some wards, baby, as they just run forward. Earthshaker, Fiend's Grip. This time, Mike, for the first time, gets a full duration Fiend's Grip off. Moving up to cover his own BKB, wants to fight out. The Doom actually TP's out underneath the cover of his BKB.
The base, got her on the retreat.
I need help. I need help, everyone. Come home.
Oh my god, this is wild. Yeah, Mineski, you just gotta regroup and do the same thing, but inside the base next time.
Gunner's actually salving so he can keep himself alive while he fights the creep wave. Here they come. Mineski want to push forward.
Start playing the Helm's Deep soundtrack.
Yeah, the horn shall sound once more in the deep. The Gales, here goes your Reflect. Is there anything else to really help him fight? Brax is losing too much life too quickly. Same with Gunner. The damage output from Mineski is just too unbelievable. And Team, they are more than on the ropes. Buyback money is letting them stay alive a little bit longer. Envy, he's doing the best he can, hoping these missed chances and the Crimson Guard will protect him and get him all the way back to base. But the throne is how you win. Objective-based gaming, the catapults and the Terrorblade, they're the one doing it. The fortification's out, but still they'll go down. KP with the triple kill. Envy will get something in return, but still, Ancient, a 600, 200, 0. Game 1 goes to Mineski.
And the ultimate,
they execute the plan.
The alternate history where Rohan never shows. And the building crumbles, the good guys.
I'm sorry, Gandalf didn't invest in a GPS in this car model, so he didn't find his way to the hill.
Indeed, and just clinical, really. Mineski, I think, had the outdraft. Panel agreed, they backed them the whole time. No mistakes made, excellent performance, excellent itemization.
Yeah.
You know, kudos to Team for holding on for as long as they could, but really just no hope once those 2 racks fell.
Yeah, terrific performance from Mineski, but still, you have hope Team could step it back up. There is always that 0.2% factor. I can't wait to see what it is in Game 2.